Hey there, welcome to the channel. You know, the most frequently asked question that I get to answer when I'm out and about doing stuff is, do blind people see? Well, the short answer, yes. For more, please continue watching. Welcome to the Legally Blind Geek channel. My name is Mike, and in today's video we are going to discuss what blind people see. That's one of the most common asked questions that I get when people discover that I have been diagnosed as being legally blind. And, I guess it's a common misconception amongst a lot of people out there that when one is blind, one is dark blind, don't see anything, which is not necessarily the truth. 25% of the time, 20% of the time, yes. The rest of the time depends on the numbers that you look at. 75-80% of the people that are so-called blind are actually legally blind. They meet that legal definition that here in the U.S. is used for, like Social Security, disability, and other, qualifiers that make a person eligible for, some, vocational rehab or whatnot. And, that's 2,200 in your best eye with correction. And, as a caveat to that, there are other folks that suffer from a loss of visual field of view, have tunnel vision. It's sometimes called, it's like looking through a straw. And, what they see in that tunnel vision, in that straw-like vision, is it may be 2020, 2010, 2015, or it may be something less than that. But the point there being that someone that has a low field of vision, less than 20% of their field of vision, is also considered legally blind. They're not dark blind, but for all intents and purposes, they're basically legal. They're called legally blind. So how does that equate to day-to-day life for somebody that's diagnosed as legally blind? Well, in my case, my visual acuity is less than 2,200 in my best eye with any kind of correction. So I don't really find glasses or anything like that much of a help for me. I either use a magnifying glass that I hold really close so I can see some detail, or I use adaptive software on my Mac, on my iPhone, my iPads and stuff like that that make it possible for me to use technology with voiceover or screen magnifiers and that kind of stuff. So what does it mean? What do I see as a legally blind person? Well, it's pretty much what I see at 20 feet. A normally sighted person with 20/20 vision can see equally clear at 200 feet, is about the way that works. To put a finer point on it, another illustration that I like to use is I'm a big fast pitch softball fan. My little girls have been playing fast pitch softball since they were 5 years old, and my oldest daughter is now a junior in high school. She's 16 years old, and she plays for her high school team. And I've enjoyed going to lessons, pitching lessons, hitting lessons, and stuff like that. I picked up a lot. I also volunteer as a coach. I help coach girls that are open to what I have to say. And that being said, for me, I liken it to standing behind the plate on a softball field, standing behind home plate, behind the backstop, and looking out across the field. From home plate to second base is like a little over 84 feet. It's like 84 feet, 10 1/4 inches, if you really want to know exactly how far it is. That's about as far as I can see someone and tell or have a rough idea as to who it might be, what team it might be. Now, when you move all the way out to like the outfield fence, and most of them are 200 feet, some high school fields are 220 feet, college fields are 220 feet, give or take. when you start talking about that far, I don't see any detail at all, really. I couldn't tell if they were looking at the ground, looking at the stars, if they had the glove on, if they were facing me or facing away. Couldn't even tell what the score is on the scoreboard unless it's one of those scoreboards that has letters that are 10 feet tall, which does not exist. So for me, that's just a brief explanation as to what I see as a legally blind person. Now, to bring that back into a little bit more of a everyday thing, like an interpersonal communications type thing, one of the issues that I have is recognizing people. And that's pretty common amongst blind and legally blind people as far as being able to recognize a person visually. Now, we will, in my case anyway, and dark blind folks that I know also have told me the same thing works for them, that they can tell by somebody's voice who it is. And we can tell, it depends on the background, but we can tell how far away the person is or what direction we need to try to navigate to if we're trying to get closer to a person that we hear, that we know, that we want to talk with, ask a question to, introduce ourselves to, or whatnot. But other than that, as far as just being out shopping, like at Walmart or someplace like that, and walking up and down the aisles, oh, just a shout out to Walmart. I hate your store. Every time I get used to where something's at, you feel the need to change it. And then, what makes matters worse is the folks on the floor that are supposedly there stocking or whatnot. Most of the time, they don't know where it's been moved to either. So, thank you for that challenging bit of strategy you employ. But anyway, having said that, when I am dealing with a person one-on-one and I'm very far away from them, and unless I can touch them, normally I don't recognize their face. So why is that important? Well, a lot of communications is more about using more than just one sense. You know, you think that you listen and you hear somebody talk and that's how you communicate with them. But as a visual learner like myself, when you lose that part of your vision that engages with somebody, like looking them eyeball to eyeball and making eye contact, or looking them square in the face and deciding whether or not they are paying attention to you, or if the answer that they're giving or the way they're engaging with you is serious, or if they've got a smirk on their face, or they've got that disbelieving gaze in their eyes when you say something that, you know, may be of a questionable reference to them, that's lost on me. And it's lost on everybody like me that is blind and legally blind when we don't see that kind of detail. So those are some things that we do not see. And we'll talk in another video about hearing and how all that works for a person like myself that has been diagnosed as being legally blind. And I'm not completely dark blind. I just have a visual impairment, some people would like to call it. Other people call it, legally blind. And there's all kinds of phrases out there that people use. But the long and the short of it is my vision is, past that 2200 threshold. And, I just don't see like most people do. The interesting thing about that is I'm an independent rascal that doesn't like to be told, well, you can't do that. You can't see well enough to do that. Well, I'm going to try. And sometimes when I'm trying, I don't have my cane with me or I don't have anything that gives it away. So I can misjudge distances. I can trip over curbs. I can step in holes. I can trip over stuff that I did not see. Now that's just me being hard-headed. And it's me being in a situation where I am in a location where I'm in a spot like a ball field or a ballpark that I'm comfortable with. I've been around it enough that I kind of know where everything's at, that I might, trip over, fall over trash cans and the like. And, so as long as I stay with where the common walkways are, generally I'm pretty safe. Every now and again, it doesn't work out that way. Or I get hit with a wayward ball or something like that. Hey, that's just part of the game. I don't really let that bother me. I don't let that keep me from doing anything. So, I'm just kind of bloviating here, but I'm trying to explain the best I know how. what it is blind people do see, me being a legally blind person. So if you think it's interesting, thank you very much. You like what you've heard, please give it a thumbs up. Anybody new to the channel, you'd like to hear more, please hit that subscribe button. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Just that's the first benchmark we're trying to get to. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit that notifications bell. That way, anytime I upload a new video covering things that I believe are interesting, and the reason I believe they're interesting is because people ask me about them. I try and give my best answer. There are folks out there that'll have a different point of view, and that's okay. We learn from one another. Now, be sure and hit the thumbs up button, hit that subscription button, go ahead and hit that little bell down there, that notification bell, so that you don't miss out on our next video. And I really do appreciate you stopping by. And if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you very much. I appreciate everything that you do, and we'll catch you in the next one. Make it a great day. Be safe.